Welcome back, everyone. Here, Starladder Season 11, now on the proper channel, twitch.tv/Dota Starladder_EN. I'm Helium, with me, Blaze, and even today you'll see in a little bit in-game, we got some stats done by Cart Dota. It's Virtus.Pro versus 4 anchors and a sea captain. Should be good. How you doing?
Doing pretty well, man. Looking forward to seeing how VP runs against this lineup here. Obviously, they had a pretty strong draft and composition against their opponents, but it didn't work out for them in the end. So 4 anchors versus sea captain. Maybe this is a different matchup that they favor a little bit more, and I'm excited to see the Mirana pick, man. I'm hoping that is indeed Jottum bottom, maybe going bottom, and we'll have to see if he works wonders on the heroes, as he is absolutely renowned for. For those that haven't actually seen this guy pick up the support Mirana and roam around with it, it's amazing what he can do with it. The long-range arrows, setting up things, making things happen across the map, and whether or not he has the stun to set it up or not, he's going to be able to connect with a few of those, I'm sure. So,
well, the multicast is always there, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, 100% time. Works every time.
Always there. Yeah, over on 4 anchors, though, we've got the Elder Titan, Skywrath Mage, a combo of supports we are seeing a lot, and a bit of ambiguity. I mean, you've got the Faceless Void or the Elder Titan that could also show up in the off lane, so if the anchors want to maybe even grab another support or even another core and just keep Virtus.Pro guessing. So I do like the start of this draft, and they're looking for their 4th pick right now, which, you know, maybe could have been avenged, but they actually banded out themselves, which is kind of interesting looking at Virtus.Pro already having 3 potential supports. I mean, the same thing goes for their lineup, right? Tons of supports, tons of potential cores in the Jakiro, the Mirana.
Yeah, a lot of versatility there, so we'll see exactly what comes to fruition here. But I think it might be like a core Jakiro, roaming support, Ogre, Mirana. I don't favor the core Mirana these days. I don't think there's a single match where I really say, man, if this Mirana was a carry, it'd be so much different. Like, I really feel like it's the other way around. There's a lot of games where you see a carry Mirana, and you're like, is she really doing enough with the farm? Is she really going to be able to take it to the late game? And generally speaking, there's a no, though there are certainly exceptions. Anyways, ET obviously is going to be good against almost any Agi carry-type hero, so they're fine with letting the carry slip through the pool. They're going to be banning out the Sidoi, Nature's Prophet. They're going to be banning out the potential Vengeful Spirit, just a 4th kind of pseudo-support hero that could do a lot of work in a lot of different roles. But it's going to be the Sven coming out here, I believe, for BZZ on the safe lane. And that means they're just really looking for Sidoi's offlaner from this point on.
Yeah, more like they banned out the Sidoi puck, unless you already said that and I missed it. That last game we cast for Virtus.Pro, man, Sidoi was going crazy on the puck that he did start in the off lane. So yeah, they're looking for his offlaner for Virtus.Pro's last pick. We'll see what the 4 anchors maybe want to ban out here. Who's your option? I guess Tidehunter is still in the pool, so that's a pretty good option. I love to see the Clockwork, but Clockwork and Sven is a no-go. It's just too hard for Sven to deal with the barriers.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, in general, I mean, there's no extremely obvious pickup. Like, if you pick up the Centaur, then you're going to be pinned down a little bit by the Void.
Bat, I guess, is still available.
Bat Rider is really strong, so I like that idea. But right now, it seems like they're believing that either the Jakiro, the Ogre, or the Mirana are going to be the offlaner. Obviously, all of them being capable with escapes or survivability in their own right. And even the Sven is kind of variable in the fact that he could go to the mid lane. I haven't seen G run it that way, but certainly is possible up against the Death Prophet. Just maybe not ideal. Either way, the Sven is a really smart pickup for the draft in general, because one thing they're going to be lacking throughout the team is going to be armor. Up against the Elder Titan Death Prophet, sitting at 0 armor is a no-go. You need some positive, you need some green armor, and the way to get that is through the Warcry. So maybe a Vlad's on a hero like Ogre, the Warcry, and they'll be able to offset that difference and sufficiently to be able to survive through the team fights.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Warcry maxed out is going to be 16. If you pick up a Vlad's and a AC, that's another 10, so you're sitting at 26 when you're all together. Like, not many heroes get more than 26 base armor anyways, maybe like Morphling and Tearblade and some of the other agility heroes that just build stat items, but yeah, that's a really great way to offset not only the Elder Titan, but also the physical damage that comes out from Exorcism. I mean, Sven was even emerging a little bit as a counter pick to the Death Prophet, even as just a Sven support. He'll get the levels eventually.
Ooh.
You'll have the armor, but Abaddon, or excuse me, Abaddon, the last pick here for the anchors, and Brood Mother. So 2 pretty interesting picks. We've seen a bit more Brood Mother since he's been added, but Haven't seen a lot of these in Dota in the recent patches.
Yeah, I mean, the Elder Titan and the Death Prophet have some wave clear abilities that can deal with it to some degree. But the important thing is that Skywrath and Abaddon don't, period. They don't have any significant AoE abilities. I guess Concussive can technically splash, but that's not what you're looking for. The spiders are going to run over that safe lane, and it's going to actually, I think, force some adjustments here. Like, you can't go into this and just think like it's a normal game of Dota. This Broodmother is going to be reshaping the battlefield entirely, and it's actually going to be very frustrating for ASC. I think they have to go for like an aggro try with the Skywrath Abaddon Void and send the ET to the safe lane, something along those lines, because if they went for something traditional, they would just be absolutely destroyed by the spider. So we'll see how they respond, but at least as it stands, it seems like a really good pick just because of how it shapes the enemy's response.
Not to mention the Warcry spiderlings.
Oh gosh, I don't.
Gotta go fast. That'll be fun, and actually, it won't be fun at all to deal with this Broodmother. Like
That's the strat, dude. You got the leap and the Warcry. Max leap, max
spiders.
Warcry first. Spiders running at 522 MS.
It's gonna be like 40 versus 5 this game. Virtus.Pro with the 35-man advantage. Good luck.
Jeez. Best of luck indeed. We do see some detection coming out from Jarek, so it looks like they just want to look for an opportunity to pick off the Brood while her webs are low. But Sidoi, he's already starting off with the Stout Shield here, and he's got some wards for himself, and some Tangos forthcoming. So I think he's going to be okay. But if they do first blood him, they might be able to set him back in the lane. The problem is, if they don't, what are they really accomplishing with these supports? Like, I love Abaddon, don't get me wrong. I play this hero a ton. I love seeing him picked up, and I think he can do a lot of work in mini drafts. But what the hell is he going to do this game? Like, he's going to hold the TP scroll, look to counter gank on mid, be kind of that counter roamer in that situation. But as far as pinning down the Brood, like, this hero is absolutely useless.
Yeah, I feel like Abaddon's going to be doing a lot of spam healing miscoil and running back to base on the safe laner this game. Or potentially. I don't know. Sometimes you just got to keep them up against that Brood. Get some levels, and that Spiderlings, is it even? Yeah, Spawn Spiderlings does so much damage. It's really hard to deal with. We'll see if Brood builds into that early Soul Ring. For now, it's a lot of regen. Also, the regen coming from standing on top of the webs. Probably see Sidoi stay in line with the Broodmother without boots, I would guess.
The battle begins.
Saw a lot of that at the summit, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of technical ways to deal with this, but they all seem like kind of small scale. In the end, the Brood still gets access to the enemy jungle and causes some real issue. And yeah, Sidoi himself has played 4 Broodmother games with 100% win rate. Non-competitive, but nevertheless very impactful. This hero obviously hasn't been in Captain's mode for that long in its current iteration, but did have a pretty great success in his previous career. Arrow on mid actually almost connects onto Volix here, barely dodging it out with this 280 MS. That could have been bad.
Yeah, and before we get too far, let's quickly run through everything. Virtus.Pro on the Dire. BZZ will be playing this core Jakiro, supported alongside it's Yol on the Ogre, looking for those arrows. It's Jotum on the bottom, so we have his signature guy. God playing mid lane on Sven, so I'm playing mid lane on Lycan yesterday. This guy just out of control on anything he plays. And at bottom lane, it will be Sidoi. We've talked enough about him. He's on the Broodmother.
Yeah. Both teams rocking the Dusky the Husky core here. Pretty sweet. But the big thing here is that core is bringing out some Sentry Wards, which will allow them to do something against this Brood. Right now, it's only Arcane Bolt, no Concussive Shot, no hard lockdown at all, unless this Madumba Man suddenly becomes a Bash Lord. So, yeah, Sidoi should have a pretty good time here, but at least they do have a tool to deal with it. But he uses the Sentry Wards to D-Ward, and you already see it not working.
Middle lane, God opens up with the Warcry Stormhammer, the arrow to land, stunned for about 3 seconds, trying to bring down Valix. He's pretty fast, 3 base armor. Jotum looking for the attacks. Is he going to go for one more? He'll find it at range. Does more than 18 damage, gets the first blood, and a nice synergy. Jotum did smoke for that, but I think it's worth it to give God a good foothold in this middle lane.
Yeah, very important, and yeah, that's Jotum for you, man. He's going to find those kill opportunities on the Princess of the Moon as much as possible. Mirana is pretty much, I would say, a signature.
Ugh. I always forget about that, sorry.
The lore rework.
Yeah, it just makes me cringe every time. I prefer
Sidoi going for the Sentry Ward. This is a big Sentry Ward to take out, and he will get it. Oh, this is so big. Suddenly, there are no Sentry Wards here for ASC. Wasted one trying to D-ward for the pull. They didn't even unlock their pull, and now they don't have any detection on the lane. Sidoi is absolutely free to do anything until Void hits 6.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to just sit there and regen, that's for sure. The sentry's gone. If they want to bring the Sky, JRX back over, oh, he's got another pair of sentries. So 2 sentries out and the Dusk, so it is annoying that Sadoi bought his own. And he's got the potential, again, like his sentry's still up. He can't go in on this, so JRX and Matumbamin will be able to clear it out or not. They'll stop clearing it out. All right, they go back for it now. A little bit of weird miscommunication between the two of them. So Sadoi's life, yeah, got a little bit easier, then immediately became a little bit harder. Boogie also rotating around. Looks like, yeah, he's just stacking up some camps. He might find Jotum, though. Yeah, they'll ping it out. Someone's pinging out. Yeah, I see
Still,
purple and pink pinks. They're
up.
laying for the arrow. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Abaddon, he's too far away. Valix, I think, is going to live with TP's coming in with Abaddon close by. Will they be able to turn it, though? The slow on the Jotum, he's got the leap. You got to pick the Sven, although he was already a little too far away.
The 1v1 suddenly, as the supports roam away, and Sadoi can just be like, okay, well, now this lane is suddenly mine. South Shield will help Matumbo Man a little bit here, but end of the day, Sadoi is going to be able to freely farm up, and yeah, they just can't put pressure out on him. Sentries or not, like, this Broodmother is going to be able to do so much work here. Poor Man's Shield is up. Next up would probably be the Soul Ring, and yeah, he's starting to spawn up those spiders, accrue the army to either jungle with or to harass back the opposition. Skywrath being a perfect target for that. And
yeah,
there it is.
Skywrath like cannot deal with these spiderlings. He can basically not deal with anything, and those spiders are just going to be pretty aggravating. He also can do nothing to help clear them out, so that's a bit of a shortcoming of JRX's hero. Too bad Earth Spirit is not in yet. Soon, I'm sure. Actually, probably not, but maybe. I'm sure he's hoping for it. Boogie and Jotum going to once again say hello. And let's look up top where we see BZZ farming pretty well. 19, actually 20 and 9. They had forced back Trixie. He TP's up. Elder Titans at level 3. This tower's taken no damage, but I would expect it to take quite a bit now if BZZ's not going for it entirely as he pushes in that wave. And another stun, another arrow, middle lane, Valix in trouble. There's a double damage here this time, even with Abaddon there to throw out the Mistcoil and the shield. It's not enough. God and Morana, God and Jotum team up, find another kill.
Yeah, I'm talking about him going... Yeah, there's the kill on the other Titan there. He tries to hold this tower as long as possible, but in the end, just can't fight against the damage over time and the stun combos coming out from the Ogre and the Jakiro. So he will fall. Bottom lane, Sadoi keeps on doing his thing. JRX is running out of regen very quickly here. And Sadoi, I mean, he just got his Soul Ring, so he can keep spamming away.
JRX might die. Soul Ring's on cooldown. They will actually dust up Sadoi. Still has that path to take. He'll be slowed down by the concussive blast. 147 move speed. Now back up to 235. 324 now on the web. Oh. The arrow will connect from Jotum. He'll go in for the right click. He finds it. He even has leap to get away. We'll speed up both of them as they're just going to run on out of here, taking everything. The dust was used, and then the dust was killed. So Sadoi's going to be okay. Tango's up, sitting on the web, getting so much. And then up top, Trixie. Everything going wrong right now for the 4 anchors. I think JRX finally puts his team on the board. He will find the kill on Yol. Brings down the Ogre Magi. Can he get BZZ as well? With the concussive shot on cooldown? Probably not. But he does hit level 4 at least. And more time alone, Sadoi with Valix this time.
Yeah, and they're going to keep the Death Prophet down bottom here. They realize that she's the one that can address this issue. The Void can't until he's 6. So he's just going to go ahead and go toe-to-toe with G on the mid lane here. But that's already a level disadvantage ×2 for Matumbo Man. And G is going to be able to control this lane pretty well. I think he's going to probably Midas. Let's see. Nope. Treads is going to come out for G. And yeah, he's just going to be maybe using his int tread toggles to make the most of his mana pool.
All right, and it looks like Sven has had pretty good success run in the mid lane, although not the biggest sample size.
Yeah,
However,
I think that a big aspect of that is how often S4 has run this Sven. I think he was one of the first to do it in this kind of metagame, and he got, I think, like 3 early wins at the hero, so it does skew the stat a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll see the treads already right now for G. He's going to make his rotation up top, try to put another death onto Trixie, keep this Elder Titan from leveling up. Although there's JRX. They might bring down BZZ first. He's going to throw the Macro Pyre. Doesn't really try to retreat through it. He's going to group up now with God. They'll bring down the Elder Titan, the Ice Path, just in time for BZZ. JRX can't even get off another attack. Did have Arcane Bolt available, actually. They'll both live, and they'll push down the tower. God's Strength and Liquid Fire. This tier 1 probably not going to be living for much longer.
Yeah, and down bottom, Sadoi trying to put some pressure onto the Death Prophet, but Boogie comes in, sends them packing, and they do get a decent clear on the spiders, so some decent gold coming the way of the Death Prophet here. Still the tier 1 up top. is gonna fall. You can only really protect one lane at a time against this team. Like, you want to be able to protect everything, but there's just, you have to send too many resources bottom to really hold the top, or you have to hold, if you hold the top, you're gonna be sending a 1v1 to lose bottom. So no matter what, it's really difficult. Jotum in a good position here on the high ground here. It might be able to find an opening onto Jerax, but Matamba Man is here as well, and even with the duo of stuns, I'm not sure they get the kill.
Yeah. JRX and Jotum, little did they know, literally holding hands. They'll move apart now. Meanwhile, the push still continuing up in the top lane. Maxed out Liquid Fire. They'll go on to Trixie. I don't know if Trixie lives through this. He'll get into the tree line. All right, yeah, tier 2 tower, giving some hits. Was a little off camera. Wasn't quite sure where he was.
Yeah, but he's trapped. Like, he doesn't get out of this.
Yeah, he can't get out. Unless he eats some
don't want
trees,
to dive
which
it,
he
though.
also can't do, so have fun, Trixie. Yeah. They know where he is. They say the Spirit return. Skywrath will rotate over to maybe be able to get him out of there. They'll throw this low, and yeah, we'll see Trixie rotate out the trees. But bottom lane, Sadoy, he's being wrapped around on. Do they have any? Yeah, they've got a sentry down right here. They're trying to bring up the spiders, farming a little bit of them. Cryptswarm, not quite enough to bring them down entirely. Even misses the spiders. I'll go back now to Boogie. Boogie with the shield. He's going to get some farm, but I think he's going to go down. Spawn Spiderlings is there. Sadoy picking up his kill. Meanwhile, Jakiro will bring down the Skywrath Mage up in the top lane. Valix going very, very fast with that haste rune under the tower. Had to use up that bottle. Sadoy won some more. He's got a soul ring and some more spawn spiderlings, but with Valix being so fast with the haste, he can't do it. So mid lane will have to go. TP's coming in abundance as Sven turns red in the middle lane and just wants to kill everything. The arrow's coming in. It will just miss. Shot it maybe a little more left. It could have been okay. Everyone here right now trying to bring down God. They still can't do it. That Chrono, they don't even get to use it. Matumbamin was too low. Even Jotum could have brought him down. And God's got another Stormhammer. He'll turn, throw it onto 2. Is it going to be enough? Probably not. Valix rotating over. G and Jotum in a bit of trouble. The silence goes out, and holy crap, that Cryptswarm just obliterates him.
Yeah, really nice turn there. The fact that the arrow didn't connect, we made it so that the Void could get the Chrono off and at least give his allies time to do damage, if not himself. But meanwhile, down bottom, the tower is taking some major hits. Abaddon will deny the top tier 2, but the tier 1 down bottom will fall to Stoy. So overall, losing map space, and this means the Void is going to be farming less and less here. Jerax actually on the wrong side of the map, friend, and he is going to be taking a decent way around here. Jotum holding the arrow, waiting for the trajectory, and now they've got him pincered in.
Didn't even need to use it, but whatever. God with the TP in with the Stormhammer. We'll bring him down, no problem. Courier just brought something out to Broodmother. I was trying to see what it was. Oh, Hand of Midas coming out to the Broodmother right now. So you go Hand of Midas. What are those big expensive items that you're looking for on the Broodmother?
Necro 3, Vlad's AC is generally the build that I've seen. No boots is a very important aspect of this. Like, he's got 501 and webs naturally, so you could just go ahead and build up right to the Necro 3 right now and feel pretty good about himself. Matamba dodging out the arrow, and it's going to be mid lane where the stun multicast comes through. Volix dropping so damn
100%
fast.
of the time. Easy for Yol. JRX tries to do something, but the hero's not super defensive, really. And the tier 1 tower will also fall. There's a blue and a red, a purple Sven, and that's the most dangerous color of all Sven. So you really got to watch out for that. And now Boogie's even going to be in some trouble. God, even without the gap close, he doesn't need it because Jotum is there to hold people in place after the Stormhammer. The synergy is incredible right now. I mean, this is like a pub stomping combo from Dota 1. The Virtus.Pro are official stomping right now.
This is DD rune up for G. He wants to go for the stump. Jerax does put out a nice silence here. He'll be fine. And it's actually Matamba to drop down the Chronosphere only onto 1.
Gosh, and it's a useless Chrono. He's stunned. He's still stunned afterwards. A multicast onto Valix. Yol. This guy's got some cheats installed for these multicasts, man. Take this guy to a casino.
And he had just forced Matamba Man out of his own jungle in that situation. He was like, Void was just trying to farm off some camps, but Weird's like, nope, I'm gonna Spiderling your big creeps. They go ahead and multicast him, force Void to TP home, only for him to fail the Chrono in the mid. And he just isn't really getting anything off the map right now, only sitting on Morbid Mass treads here at the 12-minute mark. So as we see the pressure ensue, Sadoy is going to look to just completely destroy and decimate this bottom lane. It's going to be Trixie first. They get the stun combo. Another multicast. This is at least 4 consecutive multicasts.
There's been a lot.
I know it's 40%, but this is fucking insane.
Yeah, man. Oh, JRX is in some trouble. That won't split through the spiders, so that would have been a lot of damage. Sadoy will dodge it, although in trouble. Not a multicast,
Oh,
but it is
see.
still a kill, so y'all feeling good about that one.
No ogre kill, I guess what you could say.
Yeah, wasn't an ogre kill at all. The puns maybe a little bit, but...
Radiant's bottom tower is
And the Necro 1 is up before the Void even breaks 4K net worth. Ah, that's insane. Now we see Boogie out of mana, no borrowed time, but they're not looking to pursue. That's down bottom where the action is. Sadoi, oh, the spiders. Gonna get a couple of last hits there, getting a little bit of gold, and also getting a lot of attack damage. He has plus 235 damage because of all the spiders that buff ran through. But at least it will allow him to repel a little bit, and Sadoi has to just turn his attention to the jungle, using his ulti to heal back to full, and the Soul Ring will give him some more of his spider army.
Yeah, ready to Midas up. Looks like the delivery, is it just the Necro 1? Yeah, only the Necro 1 coming out, but he's not very far from 2, 3, also not far off from when you complete the 2. It seems like you get Necro 1 and Necro 3 just comes out almost instantly. Usually because Necro, you have, like push it down a wave, it farms all the creeps, and you probably get a tower as well. So it does lead to some quick gold if you use it correctly.
Mid tower's deniable. This is surprising that they're giving so many denies away. The top tier 2 and now the mid tier 2 being denied. And I mean, it's great. It's still good. It's still a win for them, but it could be a more substantial one. I mean, they could definitely be contesting these directly with the gold advantage they have, the Blink Dagger now on Sven. They will find a pickoff perhaps on the Void.
He's turned around like he was ready to time walk away, like he knew they were coming. The uphill weave. They'll miss it.
Wow.
Mystic Flare onto 2, and now the Chrono lingering for a little while longer allows Matumbaman to get in some damage. BZZ will go down, and a little bit of misfiring there from Jotum. I mean, he's played nearly a perfect game, but when it did matter there, did kind of screw it up a bit.
Bit uncharacteristic. Surprised that he wasn't able to just chain the stun up pretty easily, try to predict something that couldn't have possibly... I mean, I guess if like the Abaddon shield had come out that instant, he could have walked into the arrow, but otherwise, yeah, completely irrelevant. And
maybe he overthought it. Like, he was expecting the shield.
well, but in the end, yeah, G is just going to be able to farm up on the top lane here. He's sitting at almost 8k net worth himself, so they've got 3 cores winning out pretty effectively. They've got the Yules up. They'll soon have the Necro 3. And Matumbaman, he's only a multicast away from death. They see him, but they won't be able to do anything about it.
Yeah, and I was bringing up the graphs quickly, also checking some of the items at large. Well, maybe hold on to that Thought, Trixie, the Ignite. No multicast there from Yol, which means the next spell surely is. But it was about a 12,000 gold advantage for VP, and they'll actually lose their Ogre right there. Not the biggest of losses. Sadoi's going to be able to scurry away. Got the Necro 2 and already more than halfway to the Necro 3. Midas about to be used up here in another second as he tries to continue to push down this tower. Up top, it was God pushing out the top lane. Tier 2 is gone there. BZZ was working on mid a little bit longer. Tier 2 was denied there. Actually, both the Tier 2s were denied, which is unfortunate.
Matumbaman, yeah, he's in some bad
well,
spot.
Abaddon's
The
here.
shield is there.
Might be able to help out, but everything is going to land. And yeah, the shield, Aphotic Shield's going to be enough from Boogie, allow him to time walk out. But Liquid Fire onto the tower right now. Here's God, Blink Dagger up, almost landed on 2. It looked like it would have from my angle, but it doesn't quite. The elevation change. God now, he's with God's strength, wants to go in. His own strength. Yeah, that's how good he is at this hero. Ice
That
Path
was
to
unfortunate.
retreat. Unfortunately, a little too over-aggressive. Not worth the Skywrath kill right there.
Yeah, between the Warcry and Sven does have a significant point of vulnerability where he doesn't have all that bonus armor there. The natural order is at 3 out of 4 now, so he doesn't have much natural armor. And yeah, the movement speed, the armor really could have helped him there against the Death Prophet. In the end, he tries to outrun the opening fissure beneath his feet, and then he gets sucked right back into it. So at this point, they just have to finish off the tier 2 and look to Roche. They do is kind of a zoning arrow, will not connect on anything, and this last Liquid Fire will guarantee the tower's death one way or another.
Yeah. Anchor's looking for the deny maybe, but I don't think they're going to find this one.
Alright, so this is Roche time. This is where they just go into the pit, they get the Aegis, and they move in to try to completely control the map. Right now, Void, his farm is pretty weak still. He's farming the enemy jungle with a bottle, as well as Mask Mana's Treads, and he definitely needs to look towards a new item. Most likely the Maelstrom, though. A BKB will be forced out pretty early this game.
Alright, there's the arrow on to Roche. That one's definitely not going to miss, so they'll stun it down. They'll bring it to about, what, a quarter HP before they even have to start taking any damage. Spiderlings will probably end up tanking most of it. The armor from Sven, whatever. Roche is dying very quickly. There's nothing that the Anchors can do about it, if they even realize it. I mean, you'd expect they realize VP wants to go up after taking that tower and do the Roche. But if they get there, what can they even do? Faceless Void is farming up top. They're trying to bring down a tower. He doesn't even have mana for Chrono until now. Exorcism is also on cooldown. So probably just the tier 1.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Is that their first tower? That's pretty brutal. No, Matumbaman will throw the Chrono. That's the Ogre. He'll go down pretty quickly. So used for the pickoff, now on cooldown for 110 seconds. Exorcism, though, coming up in another 20. So maybe they continue pushing, but I would doubt it. I mean, you've got the Aegis. Who picked that up, by the way? It's BZZ on the Jakiro who went for the Aegis. And they're already pushing, possibly looking for high ground right now. Hoping to push a little more securely, I guess, than X Game did in a previous game.
What they're going to do is they're going to spread it a little bit. They're going to have Brood on bottom the whole time, just pinching away, and then they're going to be putting Liquid Fires into the mid lane. So essentially, they don't have an easy choice of where to defend it. And popping the Exorcism here on the top tier 2, while it seems like it's nice because they finally get some tower gold underneath them, if this runs out before they can bring it to the fight, their base is gone. I actually think that was a terrible move from Volix.
Yeah, he's going to come back, and by the time he gets here, it will be run out. And now the push, they're going to know that. I mean, the tower was there. VP has the intel. They know that that big cooldown was used in the bottom lane. And here we go. Sadoy taking all the space right now, forcing everyone down here to defend that tower with the Necro books up. No mana on Void. He'll go down. The shield won't be enough. Boogie completely dry. Can't even cast a spell. Earth Splitter will miss everybody. Another Liquid Fire. The tier 3s are falling right now. God Strength still has half time on it. So the range barracks going to be falling, and it's another early
think
push.
Of an Exorcism right now. Like, an Exorcism would destroy G, would be able to route them from the base. They need more. They're going to get Jotun very, very low with a nice combo of spells, but here comes that Aegis coming back up, an arrow coming through. Jarek's going to be shielded, though, and it's still going to be enough to actually pull them back without losing any racks. So this has just been one of those days where it's hard to see who's going to be able to really turn it back around with what ultis they have, with what abilities they have. But in this case, just getting the disables off, and you have to go back to the Jakiro having the Aegis. I mean, after the Macro Pyre, he's able to do some damage over time, but he's not really able to absolutely destroy things. Obviously, the Sven isn't the best Aegis carrier either because he's pretty ulti reliant, but nevertheless, it's kind of surprising that they didn't just shift the bottle over to the Jakiro and put the second life on the Sven.
Yeah, granted, though, that push was not as disastrous as, let's say, the push we had at 17 minutes for the high ground in the last game, where the game was, well, basically lost right then and there for the team that was quite far ahead. So VP, they don't give up much. It's like maybe over the last couple minutes, they've given up 4,000 gold of their advantage. So, and in terms of experience, it's actually back to equilibrium for the Anchors after that fight. So 17-9 is the scoreline here at 20 minutes. Brood and Sven are the net worth leaders at 11.5 and 10.5k. A little behind that is Death Prophet floating near 10k with the BKB, Yule Scepter, some other big items. The Necro 3 we've obviously seen. There's a Sanj up here on God. You think that's, I guess, Halberd coming out?
I mean, it's
maybe
definitely...
SNY?
It's definitely possible. I think SNY is actually pretty good here, but oh, there it is. I didn't check the score here. So yeah, we're gonna see that picked up. AC is gonna be the item of choice for the Broodmother, and I think SNY is actually pretty solid. Like the movement speed there has a lot of potential, and let's see. As far as 6.82 Broodmother items, we have a pretty small sample size again, but we're seeing a lot of consistency with a couple of items like the BKB, which is pretty important, but. Yeah. In this situation, I would have to say that, oh, this should be a solo kill probably onto Yule. Maybe they can just add in 3 and not commit the Chrono.
It's like, he's the only pickup they've found. He's half of the Anchor's kills. Ogre's died. That's his 5th death to the 10 kills of 4 Anchors and the Sea Captain here. They're trying to push down another tier 1 this time. They will throw that Exorcism. They don't need it as desperately to defend this time, so I think it's a little more worth it. If they could get some damage even on the tier 2 would be nice, because the Chrono's still here for Matumbaman, so they can maybe feel like they can get a little more out of that. Meanwhile, bottom lane, maybe Sadoy brings them back as the plate
Check
mail
this out
up.
over here, down at the bottom of the map. He's actually dewarding with his Sacred Arrow. He has a gem, and he's just like, like, how do you even see that ward? Like, they must have seen him place it with this observer that's just to the north of it.
There for a while.
But like, that's like still so clutch to be able to take off. There's no safe place to ward. Like, you essentially can't get vision on this map against Jotun. He will keep tabs on everything. And yeah, in this case here, they're just making it so that they don't give a single bit of intel for ASC. They're keeping them kind of penned in here in the dark, and yeah, it's going to allow VP to spread the map more. Obviously, they haven't won it just yet. I think they had a pretty good opportunity down on the bottom, but now they're forced to fight against this ET Void combo that's really frustrating to go up against directly. And goodbye, Sentry Ward.
Yeah, I mean, it is really pretty dangerous to push into that. I mean, ET, the Chronosphere, the potential, it's there, so they can't go for the comeback. And I mean, they're already doing it while they sit idle, like this game sitting idle. It's Virtus.Pro that's crawling back on the graphs over time, creeping towards that equilibrium. Experience pretty much leveled off there. Still a little bit in favor of Virtus.Pro. Let's look at the Roche timer. That's maybe the next objective that VP wants to just go back for. It's anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes on its respawn, so it's still going to be a little while if Virtus.Pro maybe want to... You can keep Broodmother just split pushing the lanes, but try to find some farm elsewhere.
Oh, here we go. Very aggressive movement from Matoma Man. That's blind. He's jumping in blind. He just sees two people in mid. He's like, maybe I can find a fishing opportunity down in that bottom area, and in the end it doesn't cost anything, but it's still very scary.
Scary indeed. Doesn't end up going for it. Virtus.Pro will still just be content to farm, push out the bottom lane, the middle lane, Sadoy back to the jungle. He's got another 3,400 gold. He's got to be very close to completing the AC entirely. So wait for that big item, go back, find the Roche. Might want to get a pick off before the Roche, just in case you give up a big Chronosphere and lose the team fight there. Could be pretty bad. Would definitely be the answer for ASCII to get close. Please don't spam chat for the anchors to get back into the game.
Yeah, I don't think they need a pick for the Roche. As long as they keep the lanes pushed out, they'll know if they smoke against them, and they'll be able to avoid any kind of confrontation that would be unfavorable. So Chronosphere is going to come out here. BZZ solo kill is going to be netted, and that's still a nice one, as this is a core Jakiro here. And Matoma Man can get all the gold he can get. He can really benefit from that. But G, he's making his way towards his BKB, farming up on the top lane. And of course, the push ensues in earnest down bottom. Jottam still holding onto that gem. And Sadoy finishing up the AC very early on.
There you go. So that's, I think, 7 games now with the Broodmother going AC. It was at 6, about a quarter of the games. So there you go. You see it again. Probably just because a lot of times you have another hero that's like, hey, I'm going AC. Maybe someone that's farming a little bit more than the Broodmother, but yeah, it definitely makes sense for the hero. Just want to push. And now with the Warcry, there's 16 armor coming from that, 5 from the AC. Did anyone even go for the very cheap Vlads? It doesn't look like anybody did. We do have some more armor reduction, though, coming from the Medallion of Courage on Jottam. He's had it for a while. Will secure the Roches even more as we look to the respawn. I think it was, yeah, about 1 minute and 30 seconds on that, so not too much longer for Virtus.Pro to wait.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that the Medallion is really good defensively. Like, people always look at Medallion, they're like, oh, you just use it constantly, and it's going to be that negative armor on the target you want to focus, and that's true. But if the Warcry isn't on you, you're probably better off just keeping the Medallion off cooldown and getting the benefit of that +6 armor. So with Trinkle Boots, with Medallion, he's already got +10 by himself, and he'll probably only use it when they really want to gun down a target or when he's got Warcry on himself.
Alright, well, the two-headed hero now has another spell. 2 stuns, the Fire Blast and the Unrefined Fire Blast as Yol finishes up that Ag. So that's a pretty big pickup. You're always going to have mana for the Unrefined Fire Blast. It's based off the percentage. Going to be stunning up this Faceless Void probably the entire duration of his Chrono. If they haven't really done that already, he's missed a lot of
They're going to go on
Chronos
Boogie here.
as a
Yeah,
result of being stunned.
It's not the easiest kill with the TP scroll, with the borrowed time, but they've got so many stuns to throw out this direction. It's very possible for them to get this. They don't want to clump against the Chronosphere, against the ET, and they obviously don't have the Sven with them, so in the end they're just going to force him back.
Oh, I thought I heard the Chrono drop, but I guess it was not. Maybe just the bash. They will bring down the Jakiro. Remember, that was a core Jakiro. They'll also find Yol right now. Gonna throw him up in the Yule Scepter. That's a Valex grabbing him. And Virtus.Pro just losing 2 people for almost no reason. Still feeling, I guess, as dominant as they were 10 minutes ago, or even almost, yeah, about 10, 13 minutes ago, when in reality it's not quite the case. Like, Matoma Man can kill people now. And if Sven's not around, like, you need to be careful.
They're getting sloppy. They just thought, okay, well, we can just pick off this one guy farming all by himself. But end of the day, this is an Abaddon that you're going up against, and you have to commit for something. You either bring in 4 heroes or you don't go for it at all, because that's just not going to happen otherwise.
So remember when I said ASCII, the chat caught up to it, and a bunch of people just got banned for spamming ASCII art. I apologize.
Well,
should have known better, guys. Are they doing Roche yet? Yeah, they are. Okay, Roche is back. God's there. Red Sven and the Potom. Probably gonna take it out.
Yep, pretty clear cut there, and we'll see if he takes the Aegis this time around. Jakiro did take it before, but he's got full item slots. It is going to be G's Aegis to claim, and I think that's probably a better choice. It's not just the fact that he has God's Strength for one of his lives, it's the fact that he has Warcry for a significant uptime here. It's a 14-second cooldown, it's a 7-second duration, so 50% uptime on the Warcry is what you need to survive against this ET Death Prophet combo. Like, the Void is the setup, the ET, the DP are the follow-through. So this Sven is going to nullify that at least half the time, and that's going to be extended with this Aegis. So very, very important.
God bringing down a pretty big Ancient stack right now. Shiva's Guard, though, coming out for the Death Prophet. Crobelius, as some call him. Her, rather. But anyways, God with a 2.2k in the bank right now, has the SNY, has the Blink, has BKB.
Ooh, another death of BZZ.
Oh,
this is
man.
like the 15 millionth time he's died.
Maybe he blinks out of this one, actually. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
So
okay, I'm really surprised I didn't just chrono it immediately. But, there you
also
go.
surprised. They see Jakiro, they just think he's a support. They're like, we don't want a chrono, but then you realize he was farming. I mean, they've used it enough on Yol. The guy's died. What? I need to click on him right now. He's died 6 times, but they're stunning up the Tumbaman. Can they get him? The multicast is there, about half HP. A little bit of Macro Pyre and Ice Path as well, but it's not quite enough. He'll get over to the trees where, of course,
Bottom lane.
it's safe. And then we'll go bottom lane right now. The Yule Scepter up. They're trying to bring down Sadoy. Could be a big kill. Can give them some breathing room in this game so they can push out the bottom lane finally. But they're not even going to get it. Did they have a gem? No. They were just working on some dust and some sentries, I think.
He was off the spiders, or sorry, off the webs for a moment, so that was a small opportunity, but they just didn't have any, like, lockdown. They don't have any good stuns. They don't even have a OP Rod of Atos. They're just Shivas-ing it up, and that's insufficient here. So Shivas is nice to clear out the creep and to limit the Sven's DPS, as he doesn't have that great of attack speed. Bloodlust, SNY help, but it's no Mask of Madness. So the Shivas will alleviate the damage a little bit there, and obviously the big thing is clearing out those spiders with the active. So in the end, they don't get the kill, they waste the exorcism, and they're pretty vulnerable right here.
Yeah, and it looks like Virtus.Pro will split up a little bit more. They were trying to push bottom and middle at the same time, and it looked from where they were 2 seconds ago that they were going to try to push bottom and top, at least force the anchors to move around a little bit more when they defend the base, maybe keep the Void further from his backup once he drops a Chrono. And yeah, I think they're continuing to do it. Who's pink? That's Jotum. Moves over to the mid lane. Might want to find an arrow. Helps Sadoy set up a kill. Could be on Trixie. Look at all those
going right in.
So much damage. We'll have to go up top though. Ice Path on Matumbaman. He's got the Chrono. Does he have it? Yeah, he just finished BKB. He'll use it. The first use onto Yol once again, killing the poor Ogre. Died 7 times. God, though, has a BKB as well. And chops down Faceless Void like he's a creep. This was the next choice of item for him, by the way. And we'll have to go back. Bottom action everywhere. The bottom racks are completely falling. Sadoy throwing out the Necro units as he tries to retreat. Maybe try to get a kill on Trixie with those Necronomicon warriors and archers, but no, it's just some more space created as the Fortify goes out. God will bring down the top tier 3 tower, so taking structural damage in the base. It's in deny range now. He'll just commit for it, even if he gives up his Aegis here. Doesn't really care. Can he get away? Blink, 2, 1. Blink up to the high ground if he wants it. No, they actually disable it immediately, so well done. Can they even still get the kill? Ice Path here, zoning. Doesn't even try to land it on a hero, just facilitates the retreat. Boogie, though, has got this. Yeah, another coil will be the kill. And now bottom lane, where Jotum is slept up. Trixie's got about 185 damage, tries the juke. Gem is down. So Trixie picking up a much-needed item, and they didn't even have to buy it.
Yeah, and the Skywrath finishes off the Jakiro, who tried to bail up the Sven, but yeah, the continuous spam of the Arcane Bolts follows him through, and in the end he does fall. Just a casual Staff of Wizardry, double no tele build, enough to keep the Skywrath spamming mana intensity. As long as he doesn't skill up his third point in ultimate at level 16, he should be able to keep spamming. Volix here on the mid lane sets up with the Yules, so that Yule doesn't even have to be chronoed, as they do not have it. Just right-clicking him down, he will go down, and Volix gets an unstoppable streak. Suddenly the tables have turned. They do lose a Rax down bottom, but it is, again, just the range Rax, and that's not going to be the biggest deal in the world. They go for the tier 2. The fortification is there, but they're not going to use it as they just can't defend.
Yeah, gonna give up the tier 2 tower off of that too. Chrono's still up, so if Matumba Mid wants to even go real aggressive here on Jotum,
yeah,
then he
all
could
the
find another
these
pickoff.
just came up here. They've got a couple of Yule Scepters. They're going to just pop everything here on the top tier 3, try to force the Broodmother to retreat. It's really good. You're in a really good position in the game if you can force that out, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. Matumba Man, the BKB, looking for the Chrono, but they War Cry away, and they realize they're not going to get much damage done in that sphere. So they just kind of split it up, use it as a retreat tool if necessary, and they should be able to get out pretty cleanly.
Yeah, going to put some webs up top, so they force the Broodmother off the bottom lane, and she ends up dropping some webs here up top. So it might slow down some of that progression in the bottom lane, although the further webs out towards the tier 3 are pretty okay. Yule Scepter to continue to retreat, force staff forward, Blink coming off a cooldown. They just want to kill Boogie. He'll dodge it with another Yule Scepter. Now with Tumbleman, the 2-man Chrono, the 2 core Sven, Jakiro both falling right now. Jotum Leap still on cooldown, but Tumbleman, his Time Walk also on cooldown. And meanwhile, it's the Ogre going to take his 8th spill, I think. He's a clumsy fellow. Actually, his 9th. Died quite a few times. Nice force staff TP from Jotum. Matumba can't quite round the corner in time, but here we go. Chrono is down. Actually, Exorcism down for 76 as well. There are some buybacks, so as long as the anchors don't get too over-aggressive, they should get some big tower damage. And yeah, they'll force the buyback there first on Jakiro. Sven going to maybe wait a little while. Nice Yules on the creep.
Out. Oh, the damage. We're going to see Boogie on the front line here. Will be forced to pop the borrowed time. Sadoy coming in, slowing down Trixie. He will get stunned out. He is going down. The gem going to be trading hands here, only living a moment longer with the Yules. But can they get any more? We do see G looking to pursue. Warcry blinking forward, but it doesn't seem like he's going to connect with anybody here except Jerax goes a different direction. He sees a haste rune, gets a little greedy, and he's going to pay for it.
Uh-oh. Unfortunately, the thing about that haste rune, the other person can pick it up too. And even with a concussive shot going out, God not going to be deterred at all. And actually, Boogie hasn't gone out of danger either on this Abaddon. There's the Yule's Ice Path combo. God will run over, throw out the stun, arrow to connect as well. Everything. Jotum picking up the kill there with the arrow. It's 22-22. I mean, the Anchors have definitely made a solid comeback. At one point in this game, it was like 15-3. Things were looking out of hand, but when it comes to pushing into the Elder Titan, the Death Prophet, and especially the Void, things have been difficult. It's evened out. 0 gold advantage, and actually the Anchors have a 7.5k experience advantage. However, their base is starting to take some damage. That range Rax is down bottom. The tier 3 tower has left the building up top. And so far, Virtus.Pro holding on to still 2 outer towers and all their tier 3s.
Yeah, so they get their geometry site back. They reestablish map control, and they are going to be looking for, I guess, the next row cycle to establish their dominance here. 30 seconds till we know the timer, and I mean, VP do come back nicely in between the ultimates. That's the big thing here. It's night and day, the team fights between when 4ASC have their ultimates and when they don't. The Chronosphere, the Exorcism being just such big cooldowns, and at the end of the day, they really made work of them towards the Radiant Ancients there when they got that 2-man Chronosphere after it was kind of a pseudo-bait. The Abaddon, the big thing here was when he was in retreat, whether he got the Yules before the Sven stunned or the other way around. And because of Fog of War, because of high ground vision, it was the Yules first, and that's how they got to bait them deeper and deeper instead of just getting picked off. So, yeah, this has been a really active game from both sides here, but I really do think it might come to its climax here with this next row cycle. Sadoy, he's got a lot underneath him here, but he is approaching 6 slots, and at that point in time, you just say, okay, well, now we have this Broodmother who's farmed as all get out, but like, where do you go from there? I really feel their end game potential is going to be reached around the 45-minute mark, and 4ASC can go a little bit beyond that if you consider where they can go after the fact. It looks like Death Prophet wants a Refresh Orb. Void probably just wants actually, I'm not sure. I mean, you could go for the Butterfly, could go for a Refresher himself.
First.
Okay.
Seems like it'd be reasonable. I mean, Death Prophet's obviously going for it. Has the Oblivion Staff already. And we'll have to wait a little longer. See what Matumbamin's going to do. He's going in, scouting out the Roche. Also a good vantage point for the Void to just jump if his team can find the vision. Roche, though, about 2 minutes, and there, he's going to jump in. He just goes over the Courier. I think that even gave the vision, but here they're working on Sidoi. There's the Chrono, and this is the problem. Broodmother falls off anyways, moving into the late game, but now when there's a Chrono to just lock her down entirely, Void can jump over the tree lines as well. She's going to have a problem. Yol's like, please don't kill me. I don't want to take 10 deaths. Hiding in the trees. Looks like he'll escape this time.
Yep, so this is going to be just some very gradual push from the fellas up top here. The arrow will not connect on Boogie. I don't think it would have been a kill either way because Borrow Time's a pretty good spell. But yeah, we do see the racks here are pretty well defended, and it's actually going to be the jump on mid. I'm really not sure exactly what their intentions are, showing on 3 different lanes at once with these heroes. Like, they're just doing so much, trying to do so much individually, and in the end it makes them very vulnerable across the map. Boogie.
Anchor's taking another
Top
2,500
lane, Boogie's going to
experience.
borrow time. He will get the Yules off here, but the body blocks are out him. He forces forward, and he will be able to get out this time around. Mid lane.
Yep, there's the exorcism coming off. Even the lightning shield was thrown on Valix. That's Matumbamin's and Mjolnir doing that work here. And Fortify not available for Virtus.Pro. They're losing their middle lane of Rax right now. The tier 3's already fallen. Look at this. They're just committing onto the tier 4s. They don't want to deal with the Broodmother anymore. They're like, okay, that was a little overzealous. I think we'll back off now. And as a result, they might not get anything. The range Rax will fall. What happened?
He just died so fast. Void with the Mask of Madness, he just dies the damage over time in tier 4s only. Like, if we actually look at what killed the Void, it was almost exclusively tower damage. Like 80% of his HP was tower damage. That was just ugly, ugly stuff.
He was hoping for the backtracks. He thought he pressed the backtrack button.
I mean, he took... I'm adding up, like, 11 tower shots. 11. Like, holy shit.
Probably 3 towers for a little bit that he was running into, so that'll happen. Virtus.Pro, though, the Roche is back up. It's on their dire side. They're going to go for it once more. Refresher, though, big item coming out here for the Death Prophet. In 70 seconds, she'll have the double refresher. Definitely going to make the push a little bit easier. You can win the team fight with 1 refresher, and then you can go ahead and push down the rest of the base with the other exorcism. Or exorcism, I meant to say the first time. But yeah, you guys get the idea. It's going to be a good item for her.
It is worth noting that the Abaddon did buy back. They killed him with a Yule's Ice Path Initiation on the top, and then as soon as he bought back, they're just like, okay, TP back home to go for the big fight on mid. So the buyback was useless pretty much for the Abaddon, and they only traded it for the Broodmother. The Broodmother buyback being far more costly, but they won the fight, so they're pretty happy about that. They give her the cheese. It is a little risky. If she dies in Chronosphere, she has no buyback, so that could be very, very dangerous. But as it stands here, it's going to be an attempted pick-off on Abaddon that may turn into a bait against BZZ.
Probably not. No one's around. No way to get there. Boogie, left alone, stranded. Farming this far out, you're going to die alone. Boogie.
Oh, y'all jumping in. That is not...
The bottom lane, though, I don't know. Yoel's doing the same exact thing. He's getting picked off by the other team's cores. Everyone's trying to sort of split the map here, and as a result, it is leading to a lot of pickoffs, which has made this game feel... I'd say somewhat sloppy. 25, 26, 50 kills in just over 40 minutes right now. Meanwhile, Sidoi hiding out there in the trees can cut the creep wave and be kind of annoying. But actually, another tower will fall. The top tier 3 goes down. So the base of Virtus.Pro, it's definitely been penetrated now. Almost on equal footing. Actually, they are on equal footing. A tier 3 tower and a Ranger X for both teams.
Well, there you go. But we do see the Refresher Orb is up for the Death Prophet now. We'll see how she uses it as they are being pincered in here by the Broodmother. Oh, the Hex.
Oh my gosh, couldn't TP. And yeah, there's the unveiling of the Hex. I was pointing it out with the mouse not too long ago that BZZ did just finish up that item. They'll unveil it there, so now they're going to know. They might have already seen it clicking on them, so they could have known. Void just TPing a little too far forward. And now the double exorcism's up. Void has a buyback. The Virtus.Pro might be able to force it out. Like Sven and the Jakiro were forced to buyback not too long ago on Virtus.Pro, so if they can do the same to the Void, it would be pretty nice.
Yeah. Now Mirana picks up the Vlads that we were talking about early on. It seems a little weird on that hero, but rest assured, this is a really powerful item pickup for her. And not for her specifically, but for her team. As essentially, how do you kill this now? Like, you try to go for the silence play, the Mirana so that she can't actually leap away, but she has a Force Staff now, so she can get out of the Mystic Flare. Along with that, you get the armor. She has now, what, plus 15 armor with Medallion with the Vlads and with the Warcry on top. Like, she'll be almost indestructible to physical damage. It's going to be the spells that bring her down. So as it stands, it's going to really help her team out and allow these Sven and Brood to stay on the front lines rather than rat it out. So it's a really nice little pickup and a very cost-effective for the fact that he has not farmed all that heavily, like 7.7k net worth. So pretty good position for him, but where do they go from here? We'll see Volix farming with Shivas, and I guess he'll go Heart next. Hex or Heart has to be the pickup.
For God?
Yeah. Oh, no, for Volix. Sorry, Volix.
Oh, I think Heart for Volix would probably be pretty good. Just try to survive through the damage of the Sven. It is kind of a tall order. He just finished up the Daedalus. And then obviously Heart on Sven is always good. The amount of strength it gives you with your ultimate and the damage that converts from your strength is pretty ridiculous. So, would be good. However, are they going to continue farming, or are they going to try to push up here? It's been a while since we've seen Virtus.Pro try to go for the high ground, but they did take the Roche, so you think they're going to want to try right now. The Aegis is here on God. They'll all smoke up. They'll throw the Bloodlust, maybe try to bait a Chrono on Jottam, as he's the one outside of the smoke right now. Yeah, Vlad's definitely situational on the hero, but this game, you don't have a Vlad's. Probably weren't playing it right, so I'm glad to see that they build it up on the Mirana. At any point, it really helps. Like, your base armor is gone 100%, so you need the Warcry, the Vlad's, the AC. But here we go. There's the Moonlight Shadow as they try to jump in. BKB thrown up on God. He can't get in close because of the Chrono. He wants to bring down Matumbaman. Matumbaman also BKB. Now will get stunned. Can they bring him down? Yes, they can. They get down the Void. He's got buyback available, but there's no Chrono. There's the buyback refresh from Valek, so there is an exorcism to use. The Spiderling's going to blow up the Sky Wrath Mage, and Virtus.Pro, they're saying, we don't need to worry about our item progression, Blaze. We can maybe end the game here, but they actually can't. Jottam goes down. The gem going to be on the deck once more. Matumbaman to scoop it up. The Virtus.Pro, they force some buybacks, but they will lose 3. Sedoy, meanwhile, Boots of Travel's back. We'll start ratting out the top lane already.
The important thing is that the lanes are all pushed out here. Like, if Virtus.Pro lose all those lives and then their base is in jeopardy, that's a real problem because they didn't actually have buybacks there. Only Sven had the buyback. He was the one with the Aegis, which is going to expire now. So, essentially, if they want to take that fight because of the Aegis, but it was very risky because they didn't have any buybacks. But since the lanes were all pushed out here, they didn't really risk losing structures, and the buybacks were not forced. So instead, they get the buyback on the Death Prophet, on the Void, 2 amazingly consequential buybacks that won't be up until the 50-minute mark this game, or 51 even. And yeah, it's just going to be one more pickoff. They could win the game. It's going to be here on the Boogie. He's not the big pickoff you want, but still interesting enough. The Fire Blast, while healing him, will cancel the TP and lock him down. So nice pickoff there. 73 seconds as Abaddon has found his way to level 19.
Woo. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the push went 3 for 3, but the 2 buybacks are the really big deal. And, you know, 6.82C putting them at 7 minutes, so like you said, they're not going to be up to about 51 minutes now. And that'll even give them time to potentially take another Roche and then still push without the anchors having any buyback. So it has created a big window for Virtus.Pro. Even though it didn't really look good because they didn't get much out of it. They didn't even bring down the melee barracks, and nothing was able to happen up top either. But overall, it is very, very important. It's a nice window to win the game in the next 6 minutes, or whatever it is now. What is it, 5 minutes?
Yeah, it's gradually reducing down, so they only have 5 minutes left on the timer here. But Sven, he's got his Sacred Relic here. I'm assuming he's going Abyssal Blade on top of the fact that the Broodmother will be looking for hers. If they get those 2, I mean, it's going to be hard for Void to avoid getting picked off. As we mentioned, with no buyback, double Chrono or not, you get chain stunned, you get locked down, you're completely screwed. So it's going to be on heroes like ET to try to bail him out with some really good stomp play. Either way, for now, it's a Sacred Relic. Could technically be something else, but I really don't feel like until you get actual like a strength item that you bother with something like a Divine.
Yeah, G is pretty close. He almost has well, he can obviously buy it, but I think he obviously wants buyback. He is pretty close to buying it outright and still maintaining that buyback. And you mentioned Broodmother. looking for it as well. Probably in the same boat. Could buy it, but wants to save for the buyback. We've already talked about how important it is for the anchors. Same thing goes for Virtus.Pro and some other items at large. Lots of Yule Scepter, the Mjolnir. BZZ's Sheepstick has been pretty nice. He's had that for a while. The AC, the Ags just came into play when they got the pickoff on Boogie. Wouldn't have had it otherwise. Cheese is still on the playing field for Virtus.Pro. Force Staff, Vlad's, the gem. Is that another gem, or did they just get it back, give it up, and then get it back again? I'm not sure.
Well, the gem that's on the Murano right now is his own, so I believe that's still...
He bought another one because his is back in the base for
okay.
the anchors.
Okay, that makes sense. So one thing I want to comment on, you were talking about the buybacks and whether or not they're considering buying out. In this game, Sudoi should never buy out. He should always have buyback available because he has BOTs. So if he dies, if he gets caught in a Chronosphere or something like that, as long as they don't have the refresher to bring out another Chronosphere, the second that he buys back in BOTs in, he's in a completely different fight with all his cooldowns available and just having a severe advantage. Even if it doesn't scope out that way, the entire team gets wiped. If he has buyback, he can BOT to a lane and start pressuring, let's say, top, so that they can't push in, and his buyback will save 2 or 3 others on his team. So Sudoi in this game should never buy out, as long as it'll cost him buyback. Once he progresses the Abyssal, though, maybe selling the Midas shortly, he'll be in a pretty good spot. Yeah, he's sitting on a lot of unreliable right now, 3,500. So if he sells the Midas first...
He only needs 1,761 for buyback, so he even had it, but just to be safe, he sells the Midas.
Yeah, but I wish he had sold it first so that he dropped all that unreliable. Either way, it works out, and he's in a good position where he can buy back, and he's got pretty much all the items he needs this game.
Yeah, he does. I could actually even see a Blink as his next item. Finish it up. Just the Blink Abyssal is so good, I think, at any point in the game. Like, what are they going to do if you Blink Abyssal the Faceless Void? What's the Force Staff count on the anchors? 1. So there's not really much they can do against that. So you find the Void. If there's no Chrono, the anchors really don't have anything. It's like the glue that holds their team fight together. It's what
I mean, they have a Aphotic Shield, right?
Yeah, that's true. But you got another Blink Abyssal on Sven.
Yeah, just get the refresher Broodmother, right? Just go double Abyssal instantly. Easy. I don't know. It is, a lot of this is hinging on the Face of Void, him going down early in the fight, because he is buying out constantly. Like, he is not going to be saving his gold for buyback. He wants that refresh orb. He knows it's going to win them the game, potentially. So he is investing all this gold into it, but that can come at great risk. So, as it stands... He will have that pretty shortly, and that's a ticking time bomb that Virtus.Pro have to address. They get the Aegis up, but here's the fight.
They get the classic pickoff on the Ogre first. That's his 12th death right there. Yol having a bit of a tough time this game. He's like, I don't like this hero. Maybe I get someone else in our next game, but he's down. 31-29. There's the refresher going off. Valix has brought back the Exorcism, ready to exercise once more. And maybe push off of that, but it wasn't that big of a pickoff, right? It's just the Ogre. They still have to fear the Sven, the split push of Sudoi, which actually isn't happening right now. He's only in middle with the rest of the team. And it was actually the BKB, so going back, I can't remember the stat, it was so long ago, but BKB very popular in the Broodmother games that she's seen in competitive.
Yeah, I think she had like 80%.
Like 80 was what I remember too, yeah.
So, I mean, it's very powerful in its own right, but it's going to be a pickoff here on Abaddon. Boogie has the TP, so they will have to go for another... Oh, they got a Hex. Okay, so they should be able to bring him down. Oh, they used the Hex early. This could cost him if he TPs away immediately. The Ice Path comes out. Yeah, he can TP right now. He is fine. But he's not doing it. Sven blinks in, and now he can't...
Mistakes were made.
Well, I mean, the G was coming. He didn't know it, but G was actually approaching very rapidly. He's very quick with the blink, with the war cry. So I think he, even if he goes for the TP immediately, doesn't get out because of that, but... He should have gone for it as he didn't see the Sven. In either case, it's him down for 68 seconds, and a little fight ensued on mid. Now it's going to be G on the front line here. BKB's popping, the Abyssal going down right onto the Void, but he can time walk away.
The Void's like, Chrono. Cancels it. Too much backup. There's the other Abyssal, and it is the blink on Broodmother as well.
Well played.
Oh, yeah.
No buyback. That's the game. Like, you can't fight this with just the DP... Elder Titan. Like, that was the pickoff they needed. The Blink Dagger Abyssal, as you were talking about, from Sudoi, and the Abaddon was dead, so he couldn't Aphotic it. So all of it pans out exactly as you would expect, and here it is. They try to hold it under the tier 4s without the void for 80 seconds.
If any pro teams need me to stand in, I'm down. I got it. Blink Abyssal, Brood is the answer. Bottom lane, Yol going on to JRX. Support battle of the ages at the 51-minute mark, but we'll go over to mid. Boogie's in some trouble. He does still have his ultimate here. And looks like the Earth Splitter will just narrowly miss out there as Sidoi was dropping down from that Yule. Still fighting. Are these supports? No, God, I think, got involved. Boogie was able to stay alive. He's backed off. Still trying to keep up his team. Valix throws out the BKB right now. Refresher for 40. He does have Exorcism, but Void down for 50. I think VP are able to gut the base right now, trying to get Trixie. He'll be force-staffed away. Boogie doing a lot to keep his team up right now, even went with some evasion, probably trying to bring down the Heaven's Halberd, but I don't think he is going to have the time to find it. Although this defense is really, really nice. Anchors haven't lost any more base damage.
Spendy's gonna hit harder. There we go.
Yeah, he'll jump on. He is quite low, but again, the Aegis, he has it. He'll respawn up. He'll have the Abyssal Blade active. He can't quite blink. It's still on cooldown for another 3 seconds. And now Sidoi trying to work on the melee racks. They desperately need to get something because Void's back in 10 seconds, and he does have the Chrono available. Sidoi getting fairly low, but I think they're just going to go ahead and retreat. So Virtus.Pro takes them 53 minutes, but they do finally bring down a full lane of racks. Their next objective might be top. Abyssal onto Trixie. They're trying to kill him. Oh, you got to be careful not to clump here. Just no one's going to die, but Tumbleman, everyone's in Viz. He tries to go for it. That was a high risk and an extremely low reward chrono.
Nah. I mean, if he had caught 2 people retreating, that would have been great, but he underestimates their movement speed here. They're all invis. They have blink daggers. They're able to maneuver. He goes for the second chrono. No, he gets hexed! Amazing hex from PCC, and they look to turn it around. He pops the BKB. He's going in, but he's abyssal by Sidoi. Now, finally, he's going to go right on Sidoi. The Bashed Lord Wars, RNG back and forth. They kill off the Brood. They kill off the Sven. Yol with the Unrefined. He brings down the Void again. Buybacks from 2. Now we see Boogie bringing down the Jakiro, and the Ogre falling as well. JRX low HP. They stop the BOTs. Brood can't BOT in because they kill off the Necro that he was BOTing too. John force staffing out. JRX won't be able to find him, and the BOTs from Sven now on the bottom. He's got Blink. He's got Satanic. He's ready to rumble with that second life, but they actually won't be able to push in the base in the short time that the Void is down for. He is down for 60 seconds. They'll try, but it would be just like game-throwingly bad to go in on that bottom lane. There's no value in that because they still have to go through the tier 3 and mid. So yeah, they have to fall back and just say, okay, we expended a buyback on our 3 cores. Actually, all the Jakiro, the Sven, the Brood, all bought back there to kind of rally and get a do-over. But because of the clutch kill of the Necronomicon, I'm not sure who got it, but whoever brought it down, that stopped the Brood from reinforcing, and that stopped them from losing the game right here.
Yeah, 36-34. Still have 20 seconds to mobilize. Can maybe try to get the tier 3 tower. Void, though, coming back. We saw him refresh the chrono. Did get sheeped up. Didn't get to use it, so the chrono is still available to him. If he can keep his mana up, that was a problem as well. Even though he got out of the stun, the Necro units had taken away all his mana, and here they are available by Sidoi. Spiderlings trying to do what they can, but the farm from the Crypt Swarm cleans them out, no problem. Smoke going for Yol. They're going for the smoke play. Actually, quickly checking Roche. I feel like every time I check it, it's between 2 to 5 minutes. So there it is again, 2 to 5 minutes. And the Satanic here for Sven, though, might be able to keep him up through these fights. Like, he's been getting pretty low and not dying, but if he's got the Satanic active, I'm not sure they kill him. Unless it's, like, the perfect chrono.
Awesome stat, too. The 28,000 net worth on Brood and Sven, apparently a record-breaking. I mean, they are farmers I'll get out. Brood is looking for 7 slots pretty soon. Like Sidoi, he might bench the Necro to maybe pick up a Butterfly here. That'd be really strong. But again, buyback is the important thing, and right now it's the timer that's hindering him. Not the gold so much, but the fact that he has to wait out 5 minutes. So we actually might have a much longer game on our hands. So we're looking at going past the 60-minute mark if VP want to comfortably win this. They could just go like completely YOLO, quite literally, because they can't buy back, and that would probably be a mistake. So I think they're just going to farm their side of the map, spread it out, and wait the 5 minutes.
Yeah, I would expect it. I mean, they've already waited like for 3 other Roche, so why wouldn't they do it now that the game is even more on the line? With respawn times being so long, having just bought out 3 heroes, Virtus.Pro need to play so safe over the next, what is it now, 4 minutes? 4 minutes, 20 seconds? You know, the easy 4. Easy.
So the halberds are arriving. We saw so many talismans of evasions kind of casually. Now we have 3 halberds on the side of 4 ASC, but met with some
Hero up
BKBs.
top. Macropyre in the wave, just minding his own business. Yulesing himself to buy a little bit of time.
Turn this around.
No.
They dropped 1 Chronosphere.
Well, the Boots of Travel's got cancel coming in. God's going to jump in Abyssal Valix. If he can bring him down with some
attack
crits,
speed, though.
not finding it. Yeah, very, very slow on the attack speed. The Shiva's Guard doing
Leap.
its job right now.
Leap attack
And,
speed.
yeah, leap. I don't think he wants to use it. Doesn't really need to, I guess. They'll find the pickoff there. Dead for the full time, 2 minutes, but does have buyback available on Valix. Now, Sidoi finds Boogie. The Abyssal Blade going to be used up, and Boogie can run for pretty much days. Still has, what, 7 armor right now? 2,500 HP. Someone's pinging a whole bunch. Someone is telling someone to run. Maybe to fight. God will find Trixie.
Yeah, he backstabs him, BOTing to the creep wave here. Sidoi's still going at it. They will get some good slows on him. They will just kind of put him back in his webs, though, and it's going to be the BKB pop by Trixie, actually, to prevent Yol from RNGing him down. But, yeah, it's just going to go back to the farm game here. They got a nice little kill there. I guess it's a 1-for-1. I wasn't really paying that much attention to that aspect of it, but yeah, the Death Prophet and the Jiro were the casualties, so it's just kind of a nice little back and forth there. Either way, right now it's a bit of an impasse, because if you look at like trying to pick off 4 Anchor's lineup, the Abaddon is really hard to bring down now. The 4-staff, the Yules, he stays alive a long time. The Void so far has been the easiest target for them to kill, but even then they've had to work for it pretty effectively. Beyond that, the tankiness of the Death Prophet, the frustrating elements of the Elder Titan with the Stomp, the Yules, the Halberd. He's just a disruptor at this point. He's trying to break down their chain of initiation. We do see Yul down bottom, right onto Boogie, and even with the borrowed time, he might go down here.
He certainly borrowed a lot of time, that's for sure. And he'll use the ultimate there. It's going to proc. He'll go back to full HP, but there's no way he's getting out of this, and no one else is trying to surround him.
Oh, Jotum gets Yules on top lane.
Yeah, Jotum's in some trouble. Everyone was circling around him. Same story in the bottom lane where Abaddon will fall. We'll see Jotum die. Abaddon went down as well. The Warcry out onto everyone. Roche is in a minute. Again, Virtus.Pro, they're trying to push in the easier lane because the creeps are here. At least get a nice, strong wave going, and then maybe rotate towards middle, or just, you know, by the time, with the time that gives you, go back and do this Roche. They're going to need to start scouting it out, and that's exactly what Yol does. Good sense. It'll be, what, 10-minute Roche, so old school timer pretty much.
He's mana pool right now. Like, all he can do is throw out 2 spells right now. Like, he can Fire Blast, Unrefined Fire Blast, and that's why he's going back home. The Roche will be soon, and again, it's important for him to scout it out, but right now he just has no mana to work with, and the Unrefined certainly isn't helping that prospect. We do see that Void is just running around with the Mjolnir, the Mask of Madness, clearing out creep waves quickly, trying to build up towards the next big thing, but, I mean, even if he gets... like, there's so many items he could go, and so many items that would be completely irrelevant. Like, the MKB is already out on the Broodmother. He himself is still very vulnerable, so I don't know. Satanic could be okay. Not great with the Mjolnir.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry?
Top lane in the trees. There was a TP. Void was trying to leave, and BZZ was standing right next to him in the tree line. I thought maybe he was going to throw the ice path, but I guess they didn't see each other at all. They're just blinking up in the tree line. BZZ's looking for him, scouting out everything.
Yeah, at what point do you just say screw it and go Rapier on Void? Like, I think that's the
like
tip point that we're approaching.
40 minutes ago, if you're me.
Yeah, I mean, Lincoln Sphere wouldn't be too bad on a couple of 4 anchors since they're up against so many Abyssals, and you can't rely on the Abaddon, who really needs a blink, by the way. He needs to sell that Soul Ring, buy a Blink Dagger. And
yeah, he's got tons of mana. I think he's pretty set with 1,400. Spells are not that expensive.
But anyways, yeah, we're going to see the God Strength pop to bring down Roshan. Cheese number 2 or 3 or 8. Going
yeah, I honestly don't remember. There's been a lot of dead Roches this game. It's been a sad. He's an extinct creature. You got to try to preserve Roche.
Yeah, I like looking at the graphs here, especially the experience, how back and forth it's been. And it's not because of like complete throws and team fights. I mean, that's always in part, but like it's really just been an overall even game. The map advantage going one way or another, and yeah, I mean, 4 anchors have held the ground pretty well, but I would say that majority of the time they've been on the defense of this game.
Well, the game really hasn't changed for the last... Well, the graph has changed, as you point out, but the game hasn't really been any different since... When was the big slump? At 30 minutes? So the last 30 minutes have been basically the same. Everyone just playing a lot of pickoffs, but not being able to get quite that much out of it. I guess like 10 or so minutes ago, Virtus.Pro was able to force buybacks in a 3-for-3 trade, 2 buybacks on the anchors. They took the bottom racks. Even that, though, is not enough to win this game. We see that the range racks is down in the middle lane for Virtus.Pro. Up top, the tier 3's fallen. So the only difference, really, is that Fort Anchors has 2 outer towers to go through. The tier 1 and the tier 2 in the bottom lane for Virtus.Pro. But other than that, the base is practically even. It's just that melee racks. That's the real difference right now.
Yeah. It's interesting to note that there are no Midases in this game. The Broodmother went one, and then once he got filled up, he was inclined to sell it. But actually, top lane, no. Okay. But it's just like the amount of time that has actually transpired in this game. Ooh, y'all, all by his lonesome, no force staff, he's going down.
And that's 14. Death number 14. Don't want to end a game on 13 deaths. That just seems unlucky.
I suppose not, especially when you're relying so much on your multis that you just have to
Gotta be
trust
lucky, man.
in the slots. You don't.
14 divided by 2 is 7.
He wasn't going to get a single
Conspiracy.
multicast on that life iteration. It's just 13 is the downfall there. Matoma Man looking to go for a play, but Jahir already blinking out. Yeah, but yeah, there were no Midases other than the Broods, which came obsolete relatively early in the game, like 45, 50 minutes. He was getting pretty close to 6 slots, but yeah, it's just like at this position, the amount has gone by that if like the Mirana had picked one up earlier, I don't think she really had that much of an option versus the Force Staff, but if she did, it would have been interesting. Force Staff, speaking of, is going to save Jom's life temporarily, but there's going to be the Atos, there's going to be the Stomp, and there's going to be the kill. So with that dual pick off of supports, they feel confident to march right in, and the lanes aren't pushed out well enough down bottom or even up top. So Sadoy will look to BOT back, but it's going to be all on these Chronospheres to maybe end the game here. I think 4 Anchors have a really good shot at it.
I don't know, man. This Jakiro split push, still holding on to the cheese, has the liquid fire.
Yeah,
Might
they bring back
force someone
DP.
Back.
Like,
yeah, they'll go back with DP, which means no further aggression coming out of the mid lane.
I really thought they could take the melee racks, but they definitely valued their top lane pretty well. And there was a good chance that they'd be trading a range racks for a melee or something like that. They don't want to lose any part of their base here.
That would make it pretty hard, because it would basically be like a full lane advantage for Virtus.Pro, which is really the only thing that matters. Gold experience, who really cares at this point? It's the
goodbye,
ancient.
Boogie.
Boogie, gonna again, he'll borrow some time, force, at least give his other teammates a time to retreat. Like, look how long it takes to kill this guy. He is the hardest person in the game to kill right now.
I could kill you with 5 eyes closed.
Thank you,
Who
Broodmother.
has the least deaths, actually? Because I feel like Boogie's died a lot, despite being quote-unquote charged.
3, Broodmother, Sadoy.
So there's been 6 deaths on everybody. Oh no, 5 deaths on the Death Prophet.
At least, yeah.
And she's got her buyback. She's got a pretty good arsenal of items. I mean, maybe you want to switch the Heaven's Halberd for a Hex, but otherwise you're in a pretty good spot there.
Well, I've been on buying back to this, thinking it's that important. I mean, I guess it really is that important. I want to try to hold on to everything. They don't want Sven to be able to jump in and get a quick pick off. Looking at the buybacks, though, Void, Death Prophet, all with it. Basically, everyone has it. Mirana, Sky, and Abaddon, the supports. 3 of them do not have buybacks. One of them just used.
Chronosphere.
That's big. He does have the Aegis. That's the first life. That's also just the first Chrono. There is another one available right now for Matumbamin. Nothing gained on that fight at
So
all.
he's got strength for life number 2 or life number 3 when you buy back BOTN.
Who knows? I feel like he's probably just going to use it on life 2, because in his head he was probably like, don't use it on my first life unless like,
you do
it's
definitely
really
not
good.
first,
And
but
so he's probably just falling in a pattern of like, yeah, I'll just use it when I get up, you know, if the opportunity's there. But now I guess that opportunity isn't really there. We'll see the second
another
Chrono. They're going out onto Sadoy.
That's huge.
He's also going to have the buyback boots of travel, though. So if Virtus.Pro can find a pick, yeah, he'll buy it.
They want to wait till the ghosts go down, though. So he's just buying it early. He's going to get in position. They're going to get some spiders up. And when the ghosts are gone...
There's another ult, though.
Yeah. But they need to at least have that refresher down and at least one of the exorcisms down. If you
There
get
is no Chrono.
Duration, it's too much.
Both Chronos were used, so Virtus.Pro committing a lot to this, having just bought back. If this goes south, I'm sure we'll extend the game for another long while.
No. This should be it, I believe, but we'll have to see.
You would think. Yol's going in. Will he find the multi? He does. 3-time on Skywrath. Now Sadoy BK beat up. Abyssal over onto Valix. They're trying to bring him down, but he will get off the exorcism after all. Void is blown up immediately. He'll be forced to buy back right now. Can they get God on the way out? it looks like they will be able to. The buyback, is he going to throw it out immediately and just come into the creeps? Looks like no, he will
They're
not.
hasty. They're playing it safe. There it is.
There it
Where's
is.
the BOT? It's to the top lane. So he doesn't want the creeps to be killed off. He doesn't want it to be canceled. But now they're pretty well
Rotating
spread.
quickly over to this, though. It's just BZZ and God here. Chrono's up in 20 seconds, so I guess they're still safe from
But
that.
no exorcisms.
Surprise.
That's important. 0 exorcisms, 1 chrono is what they're going to be fighting up against. But they've got the bottom lane, a gigantic wave of super creeps going down the bottom lane. They already obviously did some work on top, and now mid is down. But the big thing is there are no buybacks on the BOT heroes. Jakiro, Ogre, they can come back. Death Prophet, ET as well. But as it stands, this is going to be still a hard fight for either side to win conclusively. We do have 1 chrono.
Yeah,
it's gonna
that's
be-
true. No
It's gonna
buybacks
be-
either.
you need to use the big cooldowns. In 15 seconds, he has his God Strength. He has Satanic BKB. Just needs to get in the right position. Maybe a 4-step forward from Jowdom will put him in the right spot. But BZZ, he's got the cheese. He's using it as a kind of a bait tool. But in the end, he's just getting more liquid fire damage. And oh no! Okay, the cheese just in time.
Who knew? Support Skywrath has an Ethereal Blade and it ain't toast now. So he's come a long way. There's that 1 chrono, though. The BKB up onto G. He cannot die here, but it doesn't look like he's going to stay alive. Can't get that BKB off. And Sadoy was in there as well. He'll throw out the Abyssal, and Virtus.Pro in the position to end it. Actually, still are, perhaps, if they can bring down Valix. Sadoy, though, very, very low. Might give up his 5th death here. The multicast from Yol, the blink away. Earth Splitter to miss. Everyone on Virtus.Pro so low. That's not going to disjoint. You are dead, BZZ. The Arcane Bolt brings you down. And now the bottom lane, they're still chasing. Yol's going to fall. Buyback here. BZZ. Boots of Travel as well. He goes right back to the top lane and starts pushing that in. Buyback on the Ogre Magi. 4 Anchors lead by 2 kills right now in a game that has gone past the distance.
Yeah. It's like a counter hex play that's coming out that actually is changing how this works. The hex on the Jakiro prevented from hexing the Void when he's running in without his BKB. If that hex comes through, that 3.5 seconds of Chronosphere is not being utilized for right clicks, then it's a completely different fight. But because they get the hex on Jakiro, Void gets the BKB off and is able to follow up with a very nice Chronosphere and a lot of damage. So most last hits on Sven, 597.
This is the pick to win it right here if they can find it. They need the Ice Path, but the BKB goes first. Where's the Abyssal Blade? Do they have enough damage, though? I don't think they do. They're shooting an arrow, and it will actually land. Now the Eth Blade used defensively by JRX might just be enough. There is double refresher, or refresher, double exorcism available. You can't stack them, but all of them are there. And this is Virtus.Pro trying to take that a high risk, but I don't think it's going to be working out. Jodham in some trouble. Yol is going to go down right now. 100 for the count, as he did just buy back for this. Jodham into the tree lines. Won't be... Oh, he will actually be able to TP out. He threw the TP. I didn't quite see it. But they lose just the support. So it wasn't the worst thing ever. And actually in the middle lane, they try to transition. Range Rax, I think, goes down right there. But the structure's fortified. The melee will stand. So that was Sadoy definitely buying some space right there.
If they had lost more heroes there, if there was any kind of Yule's follow through and they had lost majority of their team, that would have just been insanely unfortunate. BZZ trying to escape here on bottom lane here. Trixie does not have the stomp, so in fact it's going to be Sadoy jumping right on top of him, has the Abyssal Blade, but waiting for that shield to come across. The shield's on cooldown, actually. Trixie just gets right-click down as G's in the frame.
Void. God once again in the Chrono. Mystic Flare, it's enough to bring him down. There's another Chrono available. We'll throw it on Sadoy if he needs to. Won't even need it. And Sadoy is going to fall down for the count. 2 minutes, 100 seconds. This has to be the end of the game. Pinging up middle. That's the Skywrath. Putting the pings right there, saying, let's end this game.
Yeah, they've got all their ultis back up with the refresher of they'll go jump into the mid lane here. They've got their own wave of super creeps working at it. And in the meantime, it's top BZZ. Not much HP, but he wants to force a couple people to defend. If he gets even one person from this mid lane push to go and worry about the defense, then they're going to be in a good spot. But no, it's all in here. All 4 on the front lines. The best defense is a good offensive. They're going to go right for the tier 4s. Only Exorcism is
this
up.
time, it's the right call.
This is the big one. And honestly, there's almost nothing that these two can do. Even if Jakiro had his BOTs up to be in position at the right time, the arrow comes through, it clips, but they need some amazing multicast right here from the Ogre.
This is going to start it off with a 2-time multi. I don't think it's going to be enough. The BKB there. There's the Chrono bringing down just the supports, and they still have 30 seconds without the Sven. That is the game. Virtus.Pro. They start off so incredibly well, pushing out to, what, a 12,000 gold lead in like 15 minutes? But they can't hold on to it. For ASCII, they proved Fort ASCII. I'm going to keep calling them, I swear. Fort Anchors, really just too hard to push into, and they're able to hold on, and they'll bring it back for the victory. So big congrats to them. Well fought. 4th longest game in Starladder Season 11 so far. Woo.
And more games to come, of course. But
yeah, this one ran over. So
we got refresher orbs. We got some amazing just ability to bring in those big cooldowns that are such great impact in the late game over and over and over again. Some good shields from the Abaddon keeping people in the action. Great Ethereal Blade from the Skywrath Mage, using it defensively. Generally speaking, you see it as a counter to Void in the Chrono, but obviously counter to Sven and Brood as well if you use it on somebody that otherwise would be easy to bring down. You can't Aphotic Shield when somebody's BKB, so the Abyssal Blade is there to stick. But if you defensively E-Blade, they're immune to both physical and magical, and essentially you just put them in a bubble of safety. So good combos, good ideas, good reactions, and overall it's on Virtus.Pro to get a little overzealous on a couple of attempted pickoffs, and yeah, I like the time that they bought back ×2. It was an all-in play at that point. They committed everything, and they lost everything here. 1 hour, 11 minutes, hell of a game.
yeah, I thought there were maybe whoa, voice. That's what happens when the game is an hour and 11 minutes. I thought there was maybe some opportunities where VP could have pushed a little harder, like the time when the Void was down for 80 seconds. Like, they were working on bot lane. If they had maybe shifted to mid, like, they were too scared to do the all-in play then, and they were just forced to do it later after it was really, really all-in. But, oh well, ridiculous game. We've got to get on to more, though, so thank you for watching here. Dota Starladder _EN on Twitch, Starladder TV, Beyond the Summit. I'm Helium at Heliumbrella. You can follow me there. It's in that corner up there. Blaze Casting as well, the co-caster, and of course the ticket there for Starladder. Make sure to purchase up that so you can watch these in-game or on stream or both. And of course Cart Dota on the stats. So we'll be back. Stick around, guys.